Welcome to Intuitive You. This is Abby Gooch, and I am so glad you are here this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I have somebody so special and so dear to my heart. I have known this woman for over 10 years, and she and I both love this work so much because we so believe in intuition, and that's what we're going to be talking about today is tapping into your intuitive knowing. And so this woman is named Romina Hoda. I call her Mina. I think most of her friends do. She's a professional intuitive. She's been doing it, I want to say like 20 plus years. We'll ask her when she actually comes on live here in a moment. And really, she is just one of the biggest hearts that I've ever met, and I know that she will touch your heart today. So, Mina, welcome to the show. We are so sorry we can't see your beautiful face, but we can hear you, and we are just, again, so happy that you're here. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the welcome. What a wonderful, warm welcome. Abby, it's been a wonderful time knowing you for as long as I have, and I think we reflect each other's work beautifully in this world, and this is so exciting. I'm so glad to be here. Yes, I have been doing this work for 25 plus years, and it's a calling that some of us have, and everyone has intuition. Some of us are called to use others. Some of us are called to show others how it works and to help us use it in different parts of our life. And some people just use it every day, and intuition is such a powerful thing. I think we're talking a little bit today here about healing and how to heal forward and make momentum in your life. So there you go.
That's beautiful. I love that. So I love you said the word healing, and, healing from what? Because I feel like we all have different things that we experience in life. So when you say the word healing, what do you mean by that? When
I say the word healing, the quickest and easiest explanation I can give you, and please understand that there's multiple layers and multiple scenarios and all kinds of things that people want to heal, quote unquote, from. But healing is really a return to wholeness. Mm-hmm. It's a return to the place where you have no lack. It's the place where you feel confident. It's a place where you feel and are in not just a mindset, but an energy that's based in your heart, which is connected to your soul, which is alignment. So wholeness or alignment is what I mean by healing. Mm-hmm. And so we have life experiences. We have experiences that happen every day, that happen in childhood, that happen in relationships, jobs, just life in general. Our interactions is how we perceive them, and coming back to the higher perspective, moving through any trauma or places that feel less than whole, and coming up and out of that healing experience, feeling so much better in alignment and whole.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. This is so fun. So this is like our first time using live stream. So we have somebody streaming with us, Mina, saying hi from OTR, which is Oneness Talk. So that's kind of fun. So, all right. So going back to what you say about healing, I love that. And I love that you mentioned that it's through the heart, right? So, the first step to connecting to your intuition is moving your energy and your thoughts into your heart, right? And I talk about the heart as the gateway to the soul, exactly like you said, right? Like moving in, feeling that love, and really letting that love be the foundation of all things, right? And then moving into the belly of our inner knowing, tapping into your intuitive knowing, where we can be guided by that like intuitive compass is usually what I talk about it as. So I love that you say that. And, I've done obviously work with you, and moving to that higher perspective, you say. I'm wondering if there's an example in like 5 minutes or way you can actually help people, everybody listening, perceive differently, in the sense that whatever's going on, that they can have some healing around that they can actually perceive it from that intuitive, as you say, higher perspective. So I would love if you want to share anything about that, Mina.
Absolutely. So the first thing I want to do is start with the mind, because the mind is the gateway as well as the heart. The mind is kind of like, maybe not, it is a gateway to a certain degree. The heart is the gateway to the soul, but the mind is the protector and the filter through everything. It's the lens in how we perceive and how we think, because everything that we experience is through a perception, and how we perceive it is either good, bad, indifferent, or what has thoughts around it. So I'd like to start with just an example of one of my clients that I have right now, and then we'll do some energy work around that and see if people can tap in to their own ability to step into that space. So I have a client who was an actress in New York, and she wanted to be on Broadway for a really long time. Part of that was a status achievement that she wanted to have, and it was a part of what her family had always seen as what would we call successful. So in her mind, she was thinking, this is successful. This is the point I need to reach to be successful. But the truth is, it really wasn't what she wanted. She's creative and she's in a fabulous environment in acting. So we moved her a little closer to being on Broadway. But the closer we got, the more apparent it became that that wasn't an alignment for her. So what we did in less than a year's time was restructure her experience and pull her towards what she really wanted, which was film acting. So she is now headed to LA. She's auditioning for incredible roles, and this is her first time doing this because she's in alignment with what she's supposed to do. We looked into her mind, we looked into her being, looked into her energy and her soul's contract here and what was there for her, and she is supposed to be in the creative arts field, and she's supposed to reach hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and the best way to do that is not through Broadway, but through being in the acting scene. So that is just an example of what happens when we course correct and we heal and we change the perspective in the way that things are. And that starts with getting to know who we are. So I would love for everyone on the show right now to just take a moment and close your browsers or just sit back and detach from where your mind is and focus on where Abby and I are right here and just kind of be present with us. So one of my favorite things is to start with presence. We hear about it. Be in the moment. Be in the now. Great. But how do you do that, right?
Totally.
You do that by just taking a few deep breaths and taking a look around you and coming back to the body. We are too often in our mind. Our society tells us, be in the mind, achieve, and it's always through the thought process, and then it's through the action. But in my world, and the way I teach, and the way I share, then you know this a little bit, is go to the feeling, not the emotion, but below the emotion is the true intuitive feeling. So get present. Let's start by getting present. So what I'd like you to do is just take 2 or 3 really deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's just go ahead and do that. Take a deep breath in, kind of roll your shoulders, move them around. Exhale, and just blow all the stress, all the tension, all the thoughts away. And as you do that, take another slow, deep breath in, and just notice how your body responds to you focusing on your breath. And then exhaling. And a lot of times the mind doesn't want to let go. So it'll be like, no, I don't want to take this breath. And it'll prevent you from taking a slow, deep breath. So take another deep breath in and be the master of your mind and say, I am taking this slow, deep breath in and out. And just notice how you soften. Your energy softens. Your mind softens. Everything kind of calms down. And take a look around and name 3 things that are around you in your surroundings, just to yourself. So I'll let you take in these 3 deep breaths, look around you, and name it. So right in front of me, I see a lamp. I see some flowers, some beautiful fresh cut flowers, and I see my glasses. And then from there, you just kind of notice, hey, I'm present, I'm here in the world, and I'm in my body. So the next thing I'd want you to do is notice your fingers, touch your fingers together and feel a tactile sensation, and notice, or touch your hands together and just notice how you feel. This is bringing yourself in your body. Notice how your feet feel. Pay attention to your feet. How do your toes feel in your shoes, or if you're barefoot? How does it feel on the ground? Just notice the tactile sensation and notice how different that feels. Take another deep breath in and exhale, and just notice how just being present shifts the way that you're perceiving your life and your world and where you're at. So whatever you were thinking about, whatever project you were working on, whatever you were researching, for that moment, you just come back to presence with me and Abby, and you just notice energy. And so the next thing I like you to do is just go ahead and take your hand. Take one of your hands and place it in the middle of your chest on where you think your heart energy center is, or your heart chakra is. And as you take a deep breath in and you connect to your heart, notice how there's a feeling here, a connection, almost like a magnet. You might feel some emotion, you might feel a little lift of happiness, and just think about what the heart means to you. The heart is the gateway to the soul, and the soul is the gateway to all the instructions and all the things that you want in this world. The soul knows where you are in relation to what it is you want in your life and in relation to what it takes to get there. And so when you stop for a moment and become present, your answers are always going to show up within you. And sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a knowing, and sometimes it's just a beautiful moment of peace so that you can allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to be connected and let that energy or that knowledge, that wisdom in. So you can at this point just ask yourself or ask your soul, hey, soul, God, spirit, universe, would you please help me in this moment to get closer to where I want to be, or to be closer to having what it is that I know that I really want, my burning desire, or to be closer to that person that I really love, whatever it is that is there for you. And you just take a moment and just allow yourself to ask. And as you allow yourself to ask, allow yourself to soften, knowing that it's already done, knowing that it's there for you, because we don't get desires. Desires are not something we have randomly. They're there for us to follow. They're there to be guideposts to our delight, to our healing, to our happiness, to a fulfilled and extraordinary life. So let yourself sit for just a moment, feeling good about being present. Proud of you for all trying this exercise, and allowing yourself to receive yourself, allowing yourself to receive your soul's voice, universe's support. And sometimes you'll feel your hand feeling just gently like it wants to just lift off your heart. Sometimes it'll feel like you're receiving a hug through the heart. And sometimes you'll just know that this moment of peace and connection is a quantum moment that will help accelerate your path and your experience. The key is really getting to know yourself and allowing those moments throughout the day to touch in, and allowing those moments to guide you, and allowing your energy and your mind to synergize into alignment so that you can move forward more effectively and fast. From a place of love, of course. So if you take just a moment and sit with this silence or sit with this peace, and then drop into your root or your body a little deeper with a breath. Feel all the forces of the universe, all the forces of love around you, as if you're receiving a huge hug from the interdimensional spaces of heaven, whatever you believe. And embody that for the moment. Bring it in down through your root. Bring it down through your feet. Bring it down into the heart of Mother Earth, the heart of Gaia, and let yourself be received in this life, in this world, and with your spirit leading you. Thank you.
So beautiful, Mina. So everybody just coming back to the moment and integrating it through your body. As Mina talked about it coming up through your roots, let yourself feel it up through your belly, your core, your heart, all the way up through your face, through the top of your head, above your head to your crown chakra, and all the way behind you, circling beneath you, almost like there's a circle, this aura, this protection around you, and feeling that love. And I'm just so grateful to Mina. Thank you so much for your generosity. That was so deep and unexpected, but I would expect nothing less than the best anyways. So you always blow my mind. And, really as a testament of what you're saying, it's amazing how the universe does support you, right? And so, just lately I've had people just literally physically bump into my life. Like I was on the ocean and this woman literally bumped into me in the middle of the waves, and she's like, "Hey, Abby, I knew you 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. I love you," all this stuff, right? And it's like, it just happens. Things start happening for you. And so when you open up into that place of love within you and you realize you are being guided, if you just listen, you can feel trust. You can feel faith, that you're always protected, right? And you're not alone. So I'm feeling guided to ask you if people have a way to contact you through your website where they can just feel the support and your guidance, which is so accurate. It's ridiculous. Would you mind sharing what your website is where people can go deeper with you?
Sure. Right now, we're actually in the process, or I'm in the process of having it built, having a new one built. I scrapped the whole thing because it wasn't representing who I was now. So it will be up in the net by the end of the month. But right now, you can find me on Facebook under Romina Hoda, and you can find me on Instagram, Romina_Hoda. Romina is Romina, and my last name's Hoda, Hoda. And there you can find lots of clips and videos and inspiration. I do some energy forecasts for people, for just as a general experience. If you kind of want to know what's coming up for the week or around the full moon or the new moon, if you happen to be into the cosmos like I am, and how they affect us, that's always great. And I always give mindset tips, ways to go inward, little rituals that we can share. So you can look me up there. And then very soon I'll be having my website up, and you can come into my rooms and see some of the experiences that I'll have ready to go and published for you. So Abby, could I talk a little bit about the internal process versus the external process? Because everything comes from within us.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. You don't need to ask me.
I just feel so called and so excited to do this. So we all look outside of ourselves for validation, for mirroring our experiences. And it's natural and normal for us to look outside of ourselves. But too often we don't stop and look at what's inside. So that little exercise we did, that brings you back to your center, your own energy. And when you're in your own energy, you stay in your own lane. And guess what happens when you're in your own lane? Accidents don't happen. We don't crash so often. So when we are able to view the world from the perspective of a positive mindset and how we view it, it doesn't mean bypassing our humanity and our emotions, because that's what I see. I see a lot of spiritual bypassing, and I'm not on board with that. We are here to have human experiences, and we're here to feel all the feels. And it's okay to learn to train yourself to feel the feels, but it's the mindset piece of it is to be able to pull yourself back when you feel that maybe it's taking over and finding that balance. So when we come within our own energy and we come into our own alignment and we recognize in this place that everything is okay and that we're on track and on point, even if it feels like we're not, we can always reset by coming back to the center of our being, the center of ourselves. And it sounds really selfish. I'm going back to the center of my being and I'm going to go reset myself. But the truth is it's not. Because this is your space and your life, and this is what you're supposed to do and live it. And experience, everyone wants to experience who you are, and it's okay to be who you are, and giving yourself permission and daily reminding yourself that you are a being of light, that you are made of love, you are made of the cosmos and the stardust, and you are made of everything that is in this earth. And you're here to make this place, this world, a better place. Just by existing, you matter. That's the point I want to make. So if you could start your day off each morning with just one positive thing about yourself and one thing that's positive about the world, and just feel into that. Some people are more analytical and some people are emotional. I'm on the emotional spectrum. I have to feel anything for it to be my truth. But I know a lot of people who it has to click in their mind, and it's not about the feeling. So if you're either a thinker or a feeler, it doesn't matter. But what matters is you stay connected to those positive things, however that works for you. And if you start out the morning with two things that are just really great, one thing about yourself and one thing about the world that you really love, that can change the whole trajectory of your day. And then before you're falling asleep, even if you're so tired, to all the mamas, we just had Mother's Day, to all the mamas, if you're a fur baby mama or a nurturer or you've had children, sometimes you're just so tired you can't even think straight. But before you go to bed, if you'll do that same thing, what was one thing you enjoyed about your day? And what was one good thing that you can be proud of or happy with yourself for the day? You will change your life in 5 days. I guarantee it.
Mm. So beautiful. I love it. It's kind of aligning the mind with the heart, right? Like,
yes. Mm-hmm. Yep, it is. It absolutely is. And those are just like super simple but powerful basic steps. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to success, we have to define what success is for all of us. Mm-hmm. And when we allow ourselves permission to feel good about ourselves and our lives, we're creating more of that. Mm-hmm. And when you make more of that, your life gets better, the opportunities get better, the energy gets better, you start attracting better, you start thinking better, and it works wonderfully.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. So we're talking about tapping into your intuitive knowing. So I love what you shared about your intuition. So underneath your emotion, there's a feeling, which is actually energy guiding you. So I'd love for you to talk about that, because an example would be like you could feel really, really maybe fearful about something. Your emotion is, oh, I feel fear. And there's a feeling underneath that of maybe a knowing that you need to do that anyways, right? So it's like, right. Can you talk about the emotion versus the intuitive feeling so people can be really clear about what their intuition is and how that's guiding them so they can actually discern and know that for themselves?
All right, you ready? I'm going to riff. Just kidding.
Go for it, girl.
All right, so I'll try to do this in a nutshell to the best of my ability. All right, here's the deal. We have the emotion, and the emotion, I'm all about emotional intelligence, and I show and teach people how to read that, how to know their own, and then once you know your own, you can start seeing how other people are showing up in your life and where they're at, and you can be more compassionate, and you can be more effective in helping them reroute themselves when they're having a stressful moment or off track or feeling too emotional. Mm-hmm. So we have emotional intelligence. When you have an emotion of any kind, if it's fear, anger, frustration, annoyance, irritability, anything that's not on the happy spectrum, we obviously want to move away from that as fast as we can because that's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. The feelings of joy, happiness, peace, flow, moving forward, those we want to sit with. But we have the duality because we're in this lifetime. So our emotions are showing us where we're at. They're giving us feedback at all times. So when things don't feel right, when things don't feel good, when you are in a moment of just pure unadulterated fear or stress or your lack is a big one when we're so afraid we're not going to have our needs met. Our primal instincts are kicking in, and we go into a more subconscious state of fear, which is really hard to move through. But if you let yourself feel it instead of fighting it, acknowledge that it's there. Just start with that. That allows you to move through and address the emotional intelligence that's feedback that's trying to tell you something's not right or something needs to be handled before you can move forward. So let's say you're going to do your first podcast and you're terrified about it, or you're going to, you're going to start your cooking show and you don't even know where to begin, and this big dream scares the hell out of you, but you know you need to do it. The way to work through the fear is to recognize what the fear is, or what the anger is, or what the trigger is that's causing you to feel uncomfortable. And once you recognize what it is, you get a better sense of calm, a better sense of returning to yourself, because that is not who you are. When you're in those states, you're experiencing it, but it truly isn't who you are, because you truly are and have everything that you need within you to make your dreams or make your goals happen. So feeling the feeling, acknowledging it's there, feeling it, and asking, what is it trying to tell me? What is this experience trying to tell me? It's telling me perhaps I'm afraid of fear or failure. Perhaps it's telling me to slow down and go be more cautious. Whatever it is that's there, just address it, and you'll notice right away your mind gets quiet, and that's the point where you can tap in deeper and find out what's behind the feeling and go into the intuitive state. So first you have to deal with the emotion. Or if your mind is spinning, that happens to a lot of people too. We detach from the body, we detach from the heart, and we go into the mind and we overthink things, and then we get confused and then we spin. So you have to quiet the mind and you have to address the emotion that the mind is creating. And then you can tap into that deeper space. And it's not even that you need to tap into it. It's just you're clearing the space. It's always there for you. It's always there for you. The minute you take the overthinking or the emotion away, you're there. You're automatically tapped into your intuition. Now, everybody has different intuitive abilities. Some people hear, feel, sense, see, know. It doesn't matter what exactly your intuitive ability is. It's a matter of knowing that you're connecting with something that is bigger than you and that feels good, that feels true. And not in a way that your ego would say, hey, oh, well, this is what I want, so I'm just going to tell myself I can have this. It's not. That's a thought, and you'll only feel it in your head. Mm-hmm. You have to feel it deep within your body, deep within your being, and it resonates within that space. Anything that's true and anything that is your intuition will feel good. It may not be the answer you want. Your mind will be like, well, maybe I don't want that to be the case, but your being, your body cannot lie. It will feel soft, it will feel flowing, and it will feel good. So it's learning to recognize what is there and when you're there and how to get there. I think that is the biggest thing from what I understand and what I know and what I teach. So does that help?
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Like every time I talk to you, I feel like you give like novels of like information and wisdom, and it's like such a gift.
Like I can't do this in a nutshell.
I'm like, have you written your books yet? Because you need to if you haven't.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I got a lot of books. But yeah, so in a nutshell, basic.
Yeah.
Deal with your mind, deal with your emotions, and you do that by just recognizing what is there. This thought, let's say I'm feeling terrified about my new cooking show. Okay, what is the thought that's telling me I'm afraid? It's telling me I'm going to fail, or I can't do this, or I'm ugly, or whatever it may be that your mind is doing and saying. So you catch the thought, and you're like, God, that produces a really horrible emotion. That puts me in fear. I'm going to think and choose to not think that thought, or just to acknowledge it and realize that that's BS. That's not real. That's not true. That's not nice. And I really want to do this cooking show. So this is my spirit, and I'm going to align with my spirit. And the minute you do that, then the fear starts to look silly. It loses power, and then you're in a different space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love what you said about the thought. And then I think of emotions as almost like messengers. Right. So like if fear walks into your door, it's like, hi, like I'm telling you something. And it's like, okay, great. It's like, I mean, if you have a headache, it's telling you something, it's giving you some type of message, but it doesn't mean you want to keep the headache or keep the fear around. Like you said, what's the message? Then the symptom or the emotion can release. So it's really beautifully said. I love that.
Right. And this also leads you to know more about who you are and how you respond to life. We all have our conditioning, our triggers, our things that we will go through. And if you don't know what those are and you're not familiar with them and you don't know how to work through them, you're going to self-sabotage every time. So this also is a super powerful thing to use to help you move forward in a really quick and easy way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. So cool to be able to see it, so you can succeed in all the ways that you want to. That's beautiful.
Right. But you have to know yourself. And life is here. We're all here to live extraordinary lives. We're all extraordinary beings, every single one of us. And we all have a story and we all have a history. So knowing you is the best gift you can give the world and the best gift you can give yourself.
It's beautiful. So I guess I just feel like I want to ask you, is there anything you want to share? Is there anything that just comes to you from your heart right now that you want to talk about or share, or just see this light opening from your heart? A white light, like what is it you'd like to share with the audience today?
I would like to share that I know that we've all been through some incredible, we're all coming off of a very incredible, intense global experience. And that affects us on a personal level. And so I want everyone to know that they matter. And I want everyone to know that everyone's opinion does matter. And that love is the answer to everything, and love has so many forms. And I want you to remember that. Love isn't bypassing. Love is taking time to listen. Love is allowing yourself to see another perspective. Love is lending a hand when you can, and allowing yourself to receive help if you need it, or a helping hand, or someone in ear. And it's about unity, and we all need to come together and see each other in our light. We need to see that our brothers and our sisters everywhere are beautiful light beings underneath the parts and that we may not be able to see that light through. And to give yourselves more credit, to give yourselves more credit, to give yourselves more love, and to allow yourself to do what is right for you and what you know is right within your spirit, in the spirit of sharing, caring, and love. I think that's important.
It's beautiful. Oh, I love that. I knew there was something special your heart wanted to share. I'm like, I just saw this beaming light.
Thanks for that. Awesome. Oh, and there's one more thing. There's more than enough to go around. And I see so many people falling into the lack mentality. And I've been there myself so many times. And each time that you move through it, you go through an evolution and you get stronger each time. And then pretty soon, before you know it, you're tapped in and you're creating the life you love. You're surrounded by people that you love with opportunities all over, and you're giving opportunities, because the more you receive, the more you can give. So that's the message I want people to know.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And
go ahead.
I also wanted to just share, because I always forget to do this, is if anyone is interested in working with me or wants to know further, again, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook. My one-to-ones are open, and I do have some programs that will be coming out at the end of this month. So thank you.
Yeah. So Mina, what is your Instagram and Facebook? And I'm not sure if I missed it, if it went over my head, but your direct email if people want to reach out.
Direct email is Romina, Romina, Hoda, Hoda @yahoo.com. And you can find me at Romina Hoda on Facebook and on Instagram. So It's just my name.
Nice. That's so cool. God, I remember when you called, what was it? It's way over 10 years ago. And remember, and I was like, I want to work with you. And you're like, I want to work with you. And it was just like such a fun connection. And so it's like when you have that gift of feeling that connection with somebody, follow it, because that is your intuition guiding you. It's like life force connection, right? It's moving through you as you. And, you talk about your soul. That is your intuition, right? Your intuition is your soul embodied. And you really took us through a beautiful process of feeling that and knowing what that is. And you can use it. You can ask yourself any question. You can use it, to help guide you. And like you said, ultimately, right? And we can have these external reflectors of what's true, but it is kind of mirroring back what we know at that highest.
Exactly. Life is always reflecting back to us some form or some state of our internal being. Just on every level. So you get to choose. That's the other thing. People don't recognize they get to choose. And it takes practice, and it's like building a muscle. Okay, I'm going to choose to recognize this is happening, but I'm going to choose something better. What's a better thought I could choose? What's a better feeling I would rather have? Who would I rather be? And you get to step into that. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The work beyond this goes so deep. But this is transformation, and it's time. We're here to evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
And I remember Abby and I, forever ago, we went on a walk, a beach walk at night, and I still have the picture. It's the most beautiful picture, and the moon was full, and it was coming across the ocean, and it looked like a bridge, like the moon was reaching down to us and touching our hearts and giving us a bridge and saying, go forward, sisters, go forward and change the world. Here's your sign.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. I don't remember all of that. That's so cool. I love that. And I live so close to a place called Moonlight Beach, which is by the moon. So I love that. That's so beautiful. I love that.
We were in Vegas when that happened.
Right? Oh, well. There you go. Still home. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think it's just confirmation that we're always exactly where we need to be, right? So here I am here, and you reflecting that 10 years ago. So the path is always there. And I think, finding the encouragement and the support, to reach out to us, to reach out to your friends, the people who are encouraging you to follow your intuition and really trusting that you do know. And the word process kept coming through. I'm like, Mina, do you have another process? And I think that's working with you. It's like helping people go through their own process, through your programs, through your teaching, right? And your ability to actually help them live it, right? For me, it's like, I left a scholarship in college, because I was like, hey, you can teach me anything, but until I live it, which is following my intuition and become the product of what I'm saying, that's my life. And that did and has allowed me to live a life that I love, right? So you have to become it and do it. Take the action step, right? It's like, here I was, this 19-year-old, like putting flyers on people's cards and opening my office door to people like twice my age, right? And it's like, I did it though. I didn't just think about it. I took action on my intuition. And that is where you really can allow yourself to experience yourself because you're living out your soul's purpose. You are being it. And you're constantly becoming something greater. You're constantly moving into greater alignment and manifestation of your dream, right? To the point where it's no longer a dream, it's your reality, which is so beautiful.
That's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You walk and talk and you talk. Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it does take courage to live your dreams, but you gave us the most beautiful tool of listening to what the fear has to tell you, not letting it override you, but what's the message? How can my intuition guide me through this so I can then experience what's on the other side? And again, if you can feel that knowingness, to me, knowing is truth within you. Like we all know that we know. Like it's a really funny but simple and silly example. I can say my name is Abby. There is congruence. It's true. I could say my name is Mina. It's not. My body and my gut's like, meh. I love Mina, but my name isn't Mina. So I know the truth. My body can feel it. Again, like you said, the body never lies. My name is Abby. Yes, I know that to be true. So I talk about it as the truthometer in my intuitive success program. It's like, feel the truth. The truthometer, is it saying yes or is it saying no? And go ahead, Mina.
No, keep going. That's great.
Well, it's like as you honor it, you're in alignment. Right. And I agree with you. Sometimes it doesn't look the way our mind thinks. And we're like, what? And sometimes it's even better. Right. But it's like moving into that heart and that knowingness and just maybe even asking to experience that greater love, experience that highest expression, because it really is how we want to feel. Right. Any dream is kind of the manifestation of how we want to feel. Right. The experience we want to have. So.
Right, exactly. Yes, that is so beautiful. I love that. And your Intuitive Success program has helped so many people, and I loved working with you, and I still do. So, yeah, it's very powerful, and you give people some really great tools, amazing tools to be able to do it. And again, we give processes, and I think the thing I love about you and I in our work, and this is what for me defines a good teacher or a good coach or a good mentor, is they teach you how to do it yourself, and they work with you to the point where you reach a level of mastery within yourself, and there's many, many, many multiple levels,
layers, levels,
mastery that you can reach. They get you to that point where you can go off as a sovereign or a being on your own and be able to do that. And then when you're ready for the next level, your next teacher comes, you come back to that mentor or teacher. And we want you to succeed. We want you to go out and live a life that you love, to be extraordinary, to experience so much more than just what's here mundane in front of you. Yeah. Because you're so much more than that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Life is so rich when you include the spiritual, intuitive part of it and mesh it with the physical, practical parts. That's what we're here to do. So wholeness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just see this image of wings, right? Like giving yourself wings to fly, right? So we can be the wind beneath you, and then you're like, whoa, I'm soaring, I'm going, and you trust, you know where you're going. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, and another thing too, when we run against roadblocks, those are normal things. the whole, it's learning to embrace the process. And there's a lot of talk about divine masculine and feminine, which I go deep into in my goddess programs. But really what it is masculine is projective and feminine is receptive. Mm-hmm. And we have to allow ourselves to be objective in order to balance both sides of those parts of our being. And that's where the magic lies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And again, like you said, centeredness, right? So it's like, if you think about just the word center, it literally can just bring you in. And so there's nothing selfish about being centered. You're just in your center.
Exactly. Exactly. You're in your own lane. You're in your frequency, your energy, and you get to share that with others, and others get to share theirs with you. And that's where the synergy lies. That we're all seeking. That's that synergy when we look in relationships, whether it's a best friend or family or a romantic partner, we're looking for that synergy. So when we're in our own energy and they're in theirs and it matches and it meshes, then bing, we got it.
Right.
That's great.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. And the image I get is like these little balls of light, like lifting each other up, just like.
That's so good. I absolutely love it. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So when we go, there's the mind, there's body, and then there's the spirit. We can't do one without the other. But when you affect one, you affect all. Mm-hmm. So any work or any moment, any momentum you put in, any effort you put in, will always be, making some headway. But for those people who want to really, knock it out, who really want to grasp this, who want to, instead of taking 10 years to do something, want to do it in a year or two, that's where Abby and I come in. And people like us come in. We can help you quantum. We can help you accelerate your process and your path and break through the barriers for your success and your extraordinary life.
Yeah, I love it. It keeps coming through to share soul purpose readings. So I've been doing them for a while, but last week we put out a special email to do intuitive soul purpose readings. So, I know you and I both do that. So I want to recommend that people, whether you feel called to work with Mina or I, you can also email me at Abby, ABBY, at lifeforceconnection.com. But I recommend them with Mina because she's so good. I love doing them, but she's been reading my path for over 10 years. And she's just so accurate. It's like unbelievable. And she goes to the deepest layers. And so I just feel like, just like a huge shout out, right? Like to get that clarity and that confirmation of like, here's the path where love has paved the way before you in pure light and pure love. And she shows you how to align with that. And she tells you the truth. She's like, hey, this is what's going on with this person, this thing, blah, blah, blah. And so you're like, cool. Yep. That feels right. Okay. Now where are you going to go from here? Right. And so there's like, it's clear, right? So I think having that support is really, really good. So yeah, I think that's really all about that, because like we know what the soul is now. You've guided us through that and the trust piece. So is there anything else you want to share on that, Min?
Yeah, there is a little bit. Abby, you are so good at meeting people where they're at and helping them to elevate and really get back into themselves as well. And to move through whatever that thing is that's in their way. You're really good at that and you're really good at saying, hey, you've got these gifts, this and this and this, and you're a healer or you're good for this. You're awesome with that too. I'm good at helping people create the forward path to create what's there. So your work is amazing as well. And you're an incredible healer. You can hold space for the deepest things, for the most traumatic things, and for the lightest things, because sometimes the smallest things can feel like a tragedy to us. And you can put that into perspective in a way that's not demeaning, in a way that's not bypassing someone's experience, and you bring them back to yourself. And I really love that about you. And so does everyone else. So just saying.
Thanks, honey. Well, I'm like, I don't want people to feel confused. I'm like, okay, get a reading with me to get clear. Come to me to clear your blocks. So it's kind of like you get clear. And so we actually have somebody, and somebody just joined a little bit later, Mina, and she wants to know again how to get a mini soul purpose reading. So for you or my guest. So again, Abby, ABBY at lifeforceconnection.com. Mina, do you want to just spell your email real quick?
Romina Hoda, ROMINA ROMINAHODA Romina Hoda at yahoo.com. And I'm on Facebook as Romina Hoda, and I'm also on Instagram. So you can DM me, you can email me. That's fine. That's great. And I will have a website up with all kinds of goodies. And it's supposed to launch at the end of the month, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So
that's
yay.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And you can also type in any questions you have in the chat too. Everybody listening, if you have a direct question, we're happy to answer that. But yeah, I just love that. Like, letting yourself clear the roadblocks so you can see your way, right? So again, I can help you clear it. Amina will show you the way. So it doesn't have to be hard. And yeah, I just see this image of like skipping down your path, like, in the light. It's just fun. It can be lighter. And the educational piece behind it is so key, when you start to understand yourself, and how to, work with your intuition, interact.
Right. Yeah. It's so powerful when you learn to do it for yourself, then you can apply it externally to the outside world and to the people you're working with, and you just get it. And you can cut through so much of the red tape that is between so many people and just get to the core. And when you're at the core, that's where the light is. That's where the magic is. Yeah. Oh, it's good.
It's so fun. Yeah. So quick question for you. Mina, a lot of my work, in the past probably year or two, I've always loved children, but a lot of it's been focused on that new program with orphanages and the intuitive child. I guess I'd love to just kind of open up the door a little bit to, how children are so intuitive and how we can acknowledge, their intuition and support them in following it. Because in some ways I feel like they are our teachers, kind of showing us the way. So I'm just curious if there's anything that comes to mind.
Children are absolutely so close to the universe, so close to the God, goddess, the other side, heavenly realms. They are so wide open, and they can see what we cannot. They're natural healers. They are sweet as can be, and it's hard for them when they first come into this world. It's hard for them to come from, as the souls that they are, and acclimate to our body, to the bodies, and being in the physical again. They can see the past loved ones. They can see family members. They're very tuned into the angelic realm. They can see all of that. So children are our greatest teachers. They're innocent, and they're not working and operating out of the bias and the cultural conditioning that they've received until much later on. And so part of the journey of success in living an extraordinary life and getting to know yourself is deconditioning yourself from everything you learned. But children, when we observe them and work with them and listen to their stories, it opens our hearts. It brings such a pure energy to us, and it reconnects us to the inner child part of ourselves that is always there and mostly whole. We all have things to work through with inner children situations, but the truth is kids are absolutely epic. I love them so much. When they dream, and if you listen to their dreams, and every child deserves to be treated gently and heard. And when you treat them gently and hear them, that gives them expansion and the ability to grow and become solid in their own spiritual awareness and their own awareness of their purpose here and their path.
It's so beautiful. I love that. So we have some people that might want to be calling in. Mina, is that okay for you to take a call if we have any live callers? Are you okay with that?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, we have about 10 minutes left. So anybody that wants to call in, you can call in at 858-692-4555. And we can answer your question in the next 10 minutes or so. And also for the intuitive child, you can go to theintuitivechild.co to see what we're doing there. And it's taking the intuitive success program to kids. And I just feel like as we create that, them activating their intuitions and their chakras, we can really be that support. So that's just my main goal with One Heart Global too, as you know about Mina. So, and your kids are like grown in like little beams of fairy dust light. I mean, it's just amazing, like having an intuitive mom and watching what happens. So, if there's anything you want to share about how your children have followed their intuitions and what has happened in that process, please feel free to share.
All right. Abby, I love the work you do. You have been doing this mission for as long as I have known you and before that, and I love that you're teaching children how to strengthen that. And I think that could be I wish every child could be working along with some of the principles and some of the things that you've got going on, because it is so powerful. Not just adults. I mean, it's great. It's amazing for adults, your work is, but to bring that to kids and to validate their experience and to strengthen their experience and let them know this is real. That's so huge. It's really huge. So yes, I have 3 biological daughters. I've raised 4 others on top of that at different various points for years. Kids always came to me. My girls are warriors of light in this world. They are phenomenal little beings. And they aren't without their trials and tribulations. They aren't without their things, but they activate people wherever they go as well. So intuitive parents can expect intuitive children. If you have gifts or you have your own intuition developed, you're going to call in souls to you that are going to come to you so that you can possibly help keep them open as they go. And I know I'm still working with kids, and so are you. I mean, I don't do a lot of it professionally, but I do teach groups here and there. Just to help the more highly advanced, energetically open kids to manage in this world and to navigate, because it can be really difficult.
It's so funny. So we have a new way we're doing this. Normally I have a different format that I go through. And so I'm so sorry. We're actually getting a caller, but I can't switch over at the same time. So I'm asking this person to actually type in their question if they can, because actually we had this technical thing where Mina's actually calling in from her phone right now because the technology wasn't accepting it. So normally I can take this calls, but I actually realized at this moment I'm not able to take a call at the same time because we're using the phone to actually have Mina come in live. So I'm so sorry. I wrote that thinking I could, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not able to do that. But if you want to type your question, yep, I invited her to do the chat box and also to send us an email. So that's there. But yes, sorry everyone. Normally we have that ability. So yes, yeah, I know. I told them, I'm like, Mina, we're going to have you back. So yeah, it's just beautiful to see what can happen, when your children, anybody you love follows their intuition, right? It really is experiencing that higher perspective, like almost heaven on earth, if you were to think of heaven as being as a light-filled, joyful place, right? That you can experience it. So yeah, whatever we can do to support each other and validate each other, and that is super, super helpful. And yeah, I mean, I know for me, I saw things, oh my God, so brightly as a kid. And it's like, just noticing, what we're being given, the images, the messages, like you shared early on when we first had this show going about how you can connect to receive your guidance. What are you hearing internally? What are you feeling internally? What are you seeing internally? And what are you knowing deep within your own soul? And, having the courage to face whatever those fears are, realizing they're messengers and they're actually here to help you get what you ultimately want. So whatever that process is that you're going through, yes, we're here to help and you can do it. I kind of see us being cheerleaders, and it's like, yeah, it's like a coach and assistant coach. Like we're coaching each other and we're coaching you, right? We're all on the same team, And so it's just so fun to come together in that spirit of unconditional love. And I'm just so grateful for you, Mina. You're such a light. And yeah, get ready to receive an email, I think, because, yeah, I guess this person left a message, but yeah, I'm not able to check them at this time. So we can get back to you for sure. Let's see, anything else? We have about 5 or 6 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up, Mina? Mina?
Yes, just a couple of things. So from a quick energetic planetary experience, I'd love to share that we are going into retrograde and eclipse season. And what that means is, with this particular set of things, it's super, super important to recognize that transformation is at hand. From here through October of this year, we're being given an extraordinary energetic gateway and time frame to step into what we know we're here for, or to explore that more deeply and take action on stepping up and stepping higher to the roles that we know are for us. So if anyone has questions or wants to work on transformation or needs support in working through self-sabotage or dealing with those emotions, reach out to Abby or I. We'll definitely guide you in the right direction or help you in any way we can, because we want to see humanity thrive. We want to see you thrive. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you happy. We want to see this whole world transform into an amazing place, because this is the evolution revolution. This is where we're at. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone. And thanks everybody who's listening and who has been with us today.
Oh, so beautiful. And the last thing I want to ask, is there a mantra, like one sentence that as people think of you or the show, they can remember, you know, like I'm following my intuition, or something that they can just kind of use as a mantra to keep on the path?
Reach for the higher perspective, because your soul knows the way.
I love that. Reach for the higher perspective because your soul knows the way. That is beautiful. So we have a caller. I just gave her your email, Romina Hoda at yahoo.com, for the soul purpose readings to reach out to you. Please utilize Mina, her beautiful gifts. She's just such an amazing light. So glad you could be with us today, Mina. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. You can find out more information about Life Force Connection at www.lifeforceconnection.com. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.